Hey guys! So, you know when your partner says, "Hey, I know a cute game you can play. It's got cute little creatures, you mine for minerals, chop down trees, fight enemies, cook food for your allies, etc., etc." And then it all goes extremely dark, extremely quickly? Yeah! That's Cult of the Lamb, and that's the character I'm amigurumifying today. The lamb is illustrated differently throughout the official artwork and the animated trailer, so depending on what image you're using, he can vary a bit. In particular, there's a lot of variation in the cloaks and his overall look changes depending on what he's doing. In the end, I used these two images I found online. I call them A and B, and I basically took elements from each picture. I went with the red eyes from the spooky rituals, the black limbs as well as the black ears from A, and from B I picked out the slightly smaller beige horns and B's cloak, shawl, cowl shape and design. Once I had an idea of how I wanted my little big lamb to look, I gathered all my materials and yarn colours and started with the feet. Check the description box below as all the items will be listed there. I decided to use 2-inch discs to secure the base of each leg. I learnt my lesson from the Coco amigurumi though, since it's impossible to get her to stand up by herself for more than 5 seconds. So I made sure to have a larger area to act as an anchor for the rest of the body. And so I glued these discs to the base of the feet and carried on as normal. When I moved on to the body, I decided to use the loop stitch. I have regrets, of course, but where do I start? Well, I guess I'll start with the stitch itself. I love this stitch, but I normally only use it in small areas and never in 2 projects back to back. The stitch is a yarn eater and a hard taskmaster. It looks great and gives the fluffiness I wanted for the lamb's coat, but oh my god, I was crocheting for weeks, literally weeks. I debated using a puff stitch instead, as that would have also worked, but after week 2, I was already committed and I wasn't about to frog over 30 rounds of stitching. In case you're foolish enough to want to try this yourself, hopefully you can follow what I'm doing here. Essentially, I'm inserting the hook into the stitch as if I was going to do the single crochet, but then grabbing the yarn behind the working one, bringing that forward through the stitch and pulling on the yarn to end up with a loop on your finger, and then completing the stitch. I just use my finger to measure each loop, and I don't actually mind if the loops vary in size because that will make it even more organic. I might not have explained myself very well, but hopefully you can see exactly what I did and get the gist of how it went. Anyway, crocheting the body up to the head turned out to be a tedious and excruciating part of this entire project, and I did most of it off camera. So, to all the naysayers who wanted to see the development of the loop stitch from the top of the legs all the way to the top of the head, I'm just gonna say, shh.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
One eternity later.
Because I did the head and body off camera, I didn't show you how I left the space for where the faceplate would go. While doing the loop stitch and approaching what would be the jawline, I marked where I wanted the face to start and finish, and just did regular single crochet between those 2 markers. When finished, that area looked a little bit like a window. Anyway, I measured the area and crocheted a black square to match the size. The ears were pretty simple. I just made a tube and folded it in half. The eyes were also simple circles with some shaping at the bottom to simulate the drips of blood. And lastly, the horns were made by crocheting tiny little cones. They're so cute. These I set aside to sew at the end after I was done with the cowl, shawl, cloak, whatever it is. I also had this bell, which I got ages ago for an unrelated project, and have no idea where I got them from. I think it may have been Amazon, I'm not sure. If I can find the link, I'll have that below. But it was the perfect size and will look great around his neck. Because identifying the shape of the cloak was quite annoying, I made an executive decision to make a cloquette. That's a cloak, that starts out as a jacket. You all know what I mean, right? Good old cloquette. I thought that would be the best way to go about it, affording me access to the arms for posing without disturbing the silhouette. The official plushie has its arms concealed because of this cloak, and I didn't want this for my fluffy cult leader. Body language is a vital brainwashing tool after all. Anyway, after fitting the top of the cloquette, I drew up a rough draft of the bottom half to match the reference image. Using the paper template, I then crocheted increasing in the rows I needed to until I reached the correct length. I then used stitch markers to section off the bottom into 4 equal parts and crocheted those triangles. I did the same at the top for the final 2 triangles that would end up as the lapels. After doing all the triangles, I single crocheted all around the perimeter, crocheting over all the loose ends. And you know me, I love it when I don't have to weave in my loose ends. And for this cloquette, I think I only had to weave in 3 in the end. So, yay! So I mentioned earlier that the online artwork varied in some details, not to mention that there are multiple cloaks available in-game as well. So when trying to decide on the white border that goes around the red cloak, there were just too many variations. So instead, I took advantage of the chaos, embraced it, and invoked the artistic license gods to do whatever I wanted to do. And so I chose to do a white border along the bottom of my cloquette. Let me know in the comments below what version of the cloak you would have liked me to have done, or maybe what you would have done instead. Anyway, all that's left to do is to put everything together because it's basically done. I love the loop stitch, it's so fluffy and full and bouncy, but I also love the way the cloquette thing worked out. I think if I were to do this project again, 1, well, I wouldn't, and 2, I'd probably make it smaller because he turned out to be a tall boy. But when you're a fluffy, cute leader of an eldritch god-worshipping cult, some sacrifice is to be expected. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, share, comment, and even consider subscribing if you like the content I create. Don't forget to hit that bell button to be notified whenever I upload a new video. And now, whether you're a believer or a heathen, let's pray to the gods of creative license and fall into the beauty shots. See you in the next one. Bye!
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down,